Ba 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 ba. Hello, welcome back everybody to the channel. Got a really interesting one for you today. The new Form Adapt. I've changed it up with Alan. Go into a little bit of detail on the original Adapt or the Adapt as a concept, and then I'll go through some of the changes that we've done. Basically, it's a fishy shortboard hybrid, and what we had before was fish rockers. The Adapt is a fish shortboard hybrid, something that makes our waves fun, fluid, easy, plenty of speed, and it suits Alan surfing his style. He's very sort of skatey and, you know, releases and blows that tail, does air, you know, loves to link maneuvers as well. So it made sense to make a sort of fishy shortboard hybrid when we originally started doing the Adapt. And the original concept was essentially a shortboard with a fish outline, and it almost had a shortboard tail, and it had shortboard rails, and it had a shortboard foil, and it had a shortboard rocker, and then it had the fish outline, and then we would sort of pump the volume up a little bit across the deck. It's a brilliant board. We had great feedback for it, and Board Shop sold it amazingly well. But you move on, you start thinking as a shaper, you know, how can I make these things better? And I had a niggle, you know, I had an idea by some of the other boards I've been designing. You know, I'm lucky enough to work with some amazing brands, and I design lots of different surfboards, and I get to shape lots of different surfboards, so the cogs are always turning. And one of the original ideas with the Adapt was our pretty unique fin setup. I have seen it since. I don't know if we were the first. I'm not gonna, oh hell, I'll make a claim. I think we were the first to do it, but we might not have been. Essentially, we built ourselves a template so that you can have a thruster setup or you can have a twin setup. And we build a template and cut the boxes out to suit, but it gives you the option of either surfing it as more of a conventional shortboard or as a twin fin. Watching Stokesy surf that, I always thought that the old Adapt went slightly better as a thruster and would be a little bit unforgiving in the twinny, meaning that it could look very radical, but in terms of, you know, everyone else surfing the board, you would lose a little bit of hold off the bottom, which stopped the ability to link more radical maneuvers. What I did, instead of turning it more into a shortboard, which is maybe what someone's first port of call would be to make it sort of more performance based, I actually went the other way with the new Adapt. I didn't tell Alan, I just asked him to try it. I didn't say, hey, do you want to do this and let's work this out. I went, ow, I've took the Adapt, I've made these subtle changes. Just let me know what you think. Try it as a thruster, try it as a twin, let me know what you think. So there will be footage on this video, 2 surf, 1 with the twin, 1 with the thruster, both at North Fistral. He probably had the better waves on the twin, the worst waves on the thruster, so I feel like that's a really, really good test because you would kind of want that the other way around in its purest form. So what I did with the design is it's still very much fishy shortboard hybrid, but I have lent more of the design towards a performance fish. So deeper swallow, more curved swallow, slightly more curved width, in the outline to allow for some kind of parallelity between my hands here, and then plenty of curve on the nose and the tail. So Alan might have surfed the old Adapt in 5.7, whereas as this one, he's surfing it in 5.6. It's a little bit wider, like I've just said, so it's 19 7/8, and he's riding it at 28.5 litres, whereas his standard shortboard is 25, 26 litres. He's about 70 kg, Alan, dripping wet. We've got slightly more fish based outline now, more classically based fish outline than even previously. And then the foil of the surfboard, so that's the thickness and the way that carries through the rocker, again, more related to a fish, i.e. there is a thicker, more flatter section of foam through here, obviously great for paddle, but the main reason I did that, it was for fluidity. It was to be able to cope with the extra volume I was putting into the board to get that carry and smoothness on rail. So I think if I'd have just lumped all that volume into the shortboard rocker, you'd have ended up with quite a thick deck and quite a thick tail and quite a thin nose, and it wasn't working. I wanted to make sure that he was transitioning really well through turns. So now it's got shortboard rails, shortboard rocker, shortboard concaves, but it has way more of a fish outline and it has a fishy foil. And I think the blend works amazingly. So you're watching Alan surf, firstly the twin, and then the thruster for the first time. We thought that would be the best test. You know, it was either you were never going to see this video or it worked, and here we are. So he, as you can see on the twin fin, he's got loads of pop, absolutely loads of downline speed. He's managing to transition his turns right into the pocket and then stay on his inside rail all the way through to his other turns. He's getting really, really fruity and fluid, but still super high performance and critical. And then when he's surfing the thruster, I'll be honest, I was apprehensive. I wouldn't have been disappointed if it didn't do what it did, because I thought maybe it might just feel like a sluggish kind of shortboard for him. But as you can see from the footage, he's blowing the tail, he's doing airs, he's getting absolutely tons of speed down the line, and he's doing that high performance surfing, but you can tell he's on a thruster with that hold. So it's like shortboard-esque twin finning or fishy-esque shortboarding with the thruster or the twin. And you know, it makes it a high volume, easy to paddle, stable, forgiving board for sort of us normal folk. And then it just gives Alan just this plaything that he can surf in kind of anything at Fistral that isn't novel and is super high performance, whilst making it super easy for him. So that's the all new Adapt. You know, I think the footage that we've got so far speaks for itself. Severely average UK conditions, the guy's blowing up. So I love it. I love it as a UK board. I am 100% making myself one. Yeah, this is why I shape boards. It's this sort of thing. I know how much fun people will have on this, and I know that it delivers when our waves are doing what they usually do, which is staying consistent but staying super average. So yeah, that is the Form Adapt. It will be available in stock boards at Board Shop or on their custom order page. I think the first batch already sold out before we even blooming get this video out, but we are going to be making some more for them, so have a look. And we can always do custom orders with different technologies if you fancy an epoxy version as well, and we'll do some more videos on it when we've tested the new construction methods and other construction methods with it as well. So yeah, that is the Form Adapt. Nice one, board geeks. Until next time, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let us know if you want us to do any other board review videos, or if you want us to do some tech videos. We're up for it. Board geeks unite. Come on, let's go. Cheers guys, all the best. You joking? Have you actually?
Yeah, of course I have.
Of course he has.
What's the, because you obviously...
You know we work next to each other.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know what you're going to say, so I listen and I'm like, and it inspires questions.
Let's do it.
What's the difference, like, if you were, somebody's walked in right now and they're looking at the chili wrap and that, how would you separate those two?
Oh, wow. Have you done that? Oh! No,
I'm curious.
No, I like it. This is it. This is the good stuff, isn't it? Well, I think the chili, oh, you bastard. So this has to come from more performance. It does. Alan's one of the best surfers in the UK, but I don't, and that's debatable. You could have a top 5 versus how much money they made, how successful they were in competitions, how much exposure they had over the years, whatever you wanted to do. And I wouldn't argue if people put other people ahead of Alan or if people put Alan at the top. But I don't think anyone would argue that he is top of the pile on like twin fins in the UK, hucking twin fins around our wave, so much so that he would probably quite openly say for the majority of people, the majority of the waves in the UK, a twin fin is a perfect board, you know, if you design it right. So I would have to say that the Form Adapt in its essence comes from more performance, more critical surfing. Both, however, are fishes that I design based on what I think a fish should do. And the chili wrap has a wider nose and has higher volume per sort of square inch. So I would think that if you put Alan on both, he's in the pocket more with this, but he's probably got smoother transitions on the chili wrap. And then if you put me on both, I might do my best turn on this, but I might do a few more turns and link a few more together. Yeah, on the chili. And yeah, so I think like this is, you know, chili wrap with a turbo on it maybe.
Yeah, nice.
but it's like, it's same shaper, same kind of idea. It's just chili wrap is more classically a fish, and it's based on DNA from the chili bean, which is stability, easy wave catching, and we'll be doing a chili wrap review as well. But so I think that, yeah, if you were choosing, if the consumer, the board geek, was choosing between a chili wrap and an adapt, then this, if you want to be more aggressive and if you want to make life easier, the chili wrap. That's probably the best way to say it. But they're like, you're just asking me, you know, when you got,
who's your favourite child?
Yeah.
Literally.
And when you know one of your child is better at something than the other child, you'd want to say it, but at the same time, that other kid is better at something else. So,
well, sometimes kids have just got to know what they're
doing. I'm just excited about this one right now because I watched Alan. I mean, to me, that turn, yes.
Are you going to keep the sound effect of you having a mini orgasm?
Oh, you know, when he did it. But then, okay, so the turn's impressive. It was lovely. He came out of the water and told me, I could have pushed it way harder. I just knew it was a good wave, right? That's the first thing he said, because he knew I was excited about that turn. But if you watch, he does the turn, he drops down into the pocket on rail, straight back into the next turn. That's a twin fin. Yeah. Now, people who ride twin fins know how hard that is. He then that is less of a section, the second turn. He then does the same thing again into the other section. Now, us mere mortals aren't having 3 turns on that wave. Anyone on a twin fin's struggling. Yeah, exactly. We've probably just looked at it all the whole way. But you know, anyone's finding it hard to do 3 turns on a shortboard. That was done on a twin fin, and you just see how much fun. And then I just last night filming him on the thruster. Very worried, if I'm honest. Because I know what it's like. If you make a board that becomes exciting with a twin fin, you put a thruster in it, it can be a little bit like having a bike and then putting stabilisers on it. It works for some people. Drag. Yeah, but if you don't need stabilisers, why have you got stabilisers? It's drag, yeah. But he went out there and came back, he didn't get out till dark. You know, he's a 43-year-old bloke. He was like a kid, you know, and he's doing air reverses. And he said to me after, sorry, Alan, gonna get a bit soppy if this video's even still going. He said, mate, just thanks so much for that board. That's the first airs I've done since I blew my knee out, and it's the first airs I've even tried. I've not even feel comfortable trying an air since I blew my knee out. So cheers, man. I really appreciate that board. And it's like, gee, like, think how many boards I've made that guy. Yeah. You know, I've been making his boards for nearly 20 years. So for him to say stuff like that, I'm like, it's the real deal. It's the real deal. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, that'll do. Come on.